Everything I am sharing is all educational purpose only. Everything educational purpose. I do not want to have anyone just trade in market if without having any knowledge. Thanks to the team, the Ron and the team, everyone sharing their ideas and just you learn from it. So let's see what's happened next week. I think Julio already mentioned. I just want to let you know that last few years, Dow Jones has the one of the biggest gain happened. And if anyone said anything?
Yeah, leave it unlocked. Support the habit.
Hey, Ron, you want to mute yourself?
Yeah, I will.
Okay, last few years, Dow had the highest gain. We can say you had a very good week last week, and then the S&P 4% up, and Nasdaq we all have seen what happened with the Nasdaq. It's like Friday. It was a big surprise with the Nasdaq. It just shocked a lot of people on Friday, but at the end it closed awesome. It's a very good closing last week, which is based on all this big tech lost guidance or revenue, all the warnings they gave, market just shook off everything. So the thing I want to share with you, just take a look at this. That this shows you that the weight on the Nasdaq, the S&P, the foreign income, the revenue coming up, all these companies who shared their earnings. So you see the big foreign income, most of the companies, 60% of the companies' foreign revenue ties with the coming for revenues tied with the foreign countries, what happens with the dollars and all this, and dollar goes up and all this. But this number is the one, it's like cost. You see what happened with the Microsoft, Google, a lot of foreign revenue is slow down, and China and so on. And that caused also them, the large cap, especially big tech, readjust their guidance for what this coming quarter and the next year. Hence, some of them got really punished last week. You saw that, especially if anyone saw that what happened to Amazon. Amazon, as soon as it opened up, it went from 114 to 89. And I know some people, they had their order sitting in below 90. They got lucky. Unfortunately, I didn't do it. I later on said, man, I should have done it. But Amazon came back at the end Friday, over $100. That was great. Okay. Next, I want to share with you guys this inflation decline, what's happened, the earnings, the one it shows you that earnings for starting January till today, earnings the guidance for S&P, and then the other one shows you valuation, and S&P today is the price action today. If you look at from January till today, it's pretty much stayed, not too much went up, it's not too much down, within 5%, it stayed there. That the whole entire earnings for this year. But the thing is, you are looking at valuation and S&P. You see the valuation is like, as they're the new guidance coming up, valuation just stayed exactly the price with in line with S&P price. So what's going to happen? We'll see that another next 50%. Last few weeks, all this banking and the big tech, pretty much you are looking at 50% of the earnings coming up. Next 50%, we're going to see next few weeks to see what happens based on that. Also, plus this coming week, Fed, what they're going to do. It might be a trap if those who thinks we are still going towards in a bullish market. If you look at the long-term monthly chart, any of the chart, we are still in bear market. So folks, be careful what happens this coming week. What you are looking at on this one that shows you that GDP and this coming year GDP is overall in ROE, where are we at? GDP slightly, the expectation was this year around 2.4%, but now we are from January till today, we are around 2%, 6%. It's slight growth. what that means, how did it happen? If you look at that internal net trade went up, net trade, and the rest is, if you look at that housing market, what happened? The whole reversed housing inventories. We know what happened in the supply chain is reversed. So I know that most of the countries, you all know, they are trying to figure out, how they can stabilize the supply chain. However, housing, as they're increasing the rate of that, the Fed rate, mortgage rate also is going higher. The application is mortgage application slow down. Hence, also supply also in the market is not as much as before. But earlier, those who is looking to buy a house, now you can see that at least there's less competition than 6 months ago. Based on so far what I shared, anyone has anything else to add to, or any questions?
Bushi, may I ask you, or at least for the audience sake as well, is net trade the net balance of trade, meaning exports minus imports?
Export is net trade mostly. Yeah, when you say minus export minus import, right?
Imports,
But
right?
what they have seen it, right? Like exactly this year, our internal export went much higher than import,
Which is a good thing. Okay,
which is a
thank
good
you.
thing for the country. Exactly. That's why they are saying, hey, and now, although we are going to have some difficulties for short term, a lot of business trying to come back internally to build up, their own logistics or supply chain is more stronger. Okay. And also the other thing all happened during this recession, a lot of business, especially top 20, that, tech and others, they increased the price. They saw that consumption did not go slow down internally, also in the foreign market. So that's the reason, now in Fed and a lot of economists saying we may not see the recession this coming year. It might be soft landing, or based on next 2 months, what happens, we'll see. But as soon as right now, they are not saying that, we are getting into recession. And also the inflation, they're trying to bring it back to around 2%, 2.5%. Next 2 months, based on some of the economic data, they will see, are we going to be what Fed wants, Powell wants around 2%? Are we going to be there, or maybe 2 and 3% in that range?
And Ross says that the net trade also includes defense spending.
Okay. Right.
Which we had to do quite a bit for Ukraine.
Yep. So overall, I know there are people who is looking into in real estate and also looking into investing there. If this is a good time to buy, I even including myself, that I do tell people, wait till January. Let's see what happens after this election, and in January, let's see what happens then. If you really want to get in, you consider getting in around February, end of January, February, at that time.
And that, if you look at most institutions, you can see they're all cash.
Yes.
Huge amount of them are just sitting there in cash waiting for
Yep.
an entry. Now you're going to see the market shoot up.
Yes, right.
So defense, hang on. So defense would fall into imports rather than exports, right?
No, we're exporting military
We export,
to
right?
Ukraine,
Yeah.
to Ukraine and all over the world.
When we export, here's how I look at it. When we export, it's an inflow of money. So when we are sending troops or whatever, is that
Weapons.
Weapons? Got it.
Right. You're thinking
So
of
it is an
people.
inflow.
No, they're just
Got it.
talking about the weapons. Yeah. The military industrial complex.
Yep. Okay, had to process that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Import is an expense, export is an income. Look at it that way.
I thought they were sending funds. We can't afford
No,
to send
they're sending
funds to these
weapons.
countries.
They're sending
Yeah.
weapons. What are they going to do with money? Money is useless to them. They need to actually have weapons to fight. So
No, sometimes IMF wants, or whoever the hell it is, NATO, whoever it is, wants funds, right, to fund the war. So sometimes
yeah,
when
well,
we
we
talk
are
about
funding the
defense,
war. We are funding the war by spending more money in this country for sure. So yeah, but then we're selling it. So it's
got
all
it.
going to go as debt. They're going to owe us all this and take them years to pay it back.
Okay, this is.
Please.
This is like when you go to the dealer and you want to buy a car, and then you tell them, "Can I test drive it?" And they say, "Sure," and they let you test drive the car. Now, this car that they let you test drive, they're gonna put some miles on it, and later they'll sell it at a cheaper price. But that's the demo car. So the stuff that they sent to Ukraine is a demo for the rest of NATO to buy all that weapons in the US.
Wow, very good way of putting it.
So that's how it works.
That's
Because
clever.
NATO has not been buying weapons based on their GDP expense.
Yeah, they have not been paying their fair share whatsoever.
And then when Trump went there, he threatened them, they didn't listen. And then if Ukraine happened.
Now they're like,
now they're
oh
all
shit,
listening,
we better
they're
do
all
it.
buying now, They're all upgrading the airplane, they're paying for the software.
Yeah,
$35 million to upgrade the software for the F-18. So it's not.
especially Germany is spending enormous amounts.
So this is, what we send is just a demo.
Right, right.
Yes, now, so that is unrealized income. See, that's why I asked
Right.
the question, is it an export or an import? Or
It's
is
a
it
realized
neither?
income because we run on a credit system. If we don't run on a cash basis, we run on a, what's the opposite, accrual. It's an accrual basis.
Accrual basis, okay.
But that doesn't count. The only thing you want to do, you get an order, you ship it, and then you make more, then you get more jobs. and
Yeah,
then the whole system
Ah.
turns.
the whole credit system.
You're just gonna
There's
keep
a
it
ripple
going.
effect, yeah.
The military is the one that's working.
We're basically putting the countries in NATO in our pocket.
Well, they've always been in our pocket, but now they have to be more liable. They're gonna have to
Yeah, yeah,
pull their own weights. Because it's their neighbor,
Mhm.
you know, it's their neighborhood first.
There are two industries that made
And
money.
then when
Energy
when everything goes bottom up,
and
they go where?
war
And
machine.
we go
They're,
in-
they can,
Then we go in and buy it. Buy it up.
that's sad, but if it's true, that we've never done that before. In World War II, we were very kind to Europe. We treated them well. We gave them loans to rebuild their
No, I know,
countries.
but, like, not-
All right.
we took a lot from Germany.
Don't be fooled, Ron.
Okay. Can you
No, you're
proceed?
right to some degree that we go there, we never get out. But it's time for us to get out of Germany and Japan. Let them take care of their own countries. It's been long enough since World War II.
Don't do it. We don't do it for sympathetic
years
reasons,
ago, right?
trust me.
Right.
So, along the lines of what Mushi has been presenting, Mushi, you mentioned about inflation. I mean, inflation is not coming down anytime soon, anyway, right? Like not to 2% level in the next 2-3 months. So,
Correct. And again, some of this stuff, that's why Fed is getting very aggressive of the increasing the rate. And I think earlier what Julio mentioned that he's not looking into what will Fed do in next year, you know, and there are some of the things you are saying that, you know, some of them says in month of December, they might increase 50 base or 25, whatever it is. Market is now, the current price action is trading as if this week or this month is going to be 75 base point or month of November, not this month, November, and the December is going to be around 25 to 50. If they come up with something else, you'll see there will be shocking in the market and there will be more sell-off. That's why a lot of people sitting on their cash to see what will Fed do. Okay.
yeah, and I think earnings are expected to come down next year anyway because of the Fed rate hike.
Yes.
And the other thing to think about is that just because the Fed has increased the rate, that does not guarantee that inflation will come down to what's expected. So their thought, I think, is
It's
okay,
uncharted territory.
let's increase the rates, then we're gonna watch it for a little bit.
Mhm.
And I think market is right now feeling that, okay, Fed is just gonna increase by, 0.75
They don't have any
this
other
time and
power.
maybe 0.5 next time. So
Right.
but still, if 6 months down the road, inflation is still high,
Mhm.
then yeah, Fed is gonna have to raise rates again.
You
So
need to cut
But
China.
look at the
off the buy
GDP.
list.
GDP, we are not that bad comparing with the rest of the world, right?
You're right.
So that's also another sign that Fed is looking at, hey, it's not that bad what everyone expected. But now that, what's earnings came in last week, it shocked. If you look at it, it really didn't shock. Microsoft should not get penalized with what really happened with comparing Apple, right? Google
Yeah.
got really beat up for no reason. When I say no reason, it's just very little miss on Google's side.
And because our employment rate is so high,
Mhm.
Right.
people have money in their hand and our
Yes.
economy runs on consumerism.
Right.
So
Yes.
as you can see, I was shocked at Amazon going down like
Yeah.
that because Amazon is the retailer of today.
Right,
I mean,
right.
who
Yeah.
doesn't
Right.
buy from Amazon? Even though we don't like Amazon's leadership, we still.
That's
But it's
why I-
true.
Right.
Love
That's
it.
why I
There-
know a
there were
lot of people.
definitely- There were
Go ahead.
definitely many momentum swings, and I think in case of Amazon, because their AWS revenue
Yeah.
slowed down a little bit, so they've been actually growing by at least 50% every year over year, every quarter, and this time it came into like 33%, while the market was expecting 37. So AWS is known to be Amazon's growth engine.
Right.
And that slowed down, so Amazon got a hit. But yeah, it's definitely a momentum market, like swings, both ways. So
But Jasper, why did the AWS go down? Do you have any clue?
so what they're saying is, AWS revenue going down, is it like a symptom of enterprises
Ah.
spending lesser? So everybody's trying to kind of see, okay, is the market, entering that phase where companies will spend lesser, and like that's why earnings next year are expected to go down.
Yep.
But some of that stuff is unrelated, I think, to inflation and the rate and whatnot, because or how much the Fed is going to increase the rate. Because if the market like you mentioned, Yasmin, the job market, if it stays pretty hot, right? The Fed has almost, and inflation stays high, the Fed is just going to keep increasing the rate. So
Right. Yeah. But a lot of
Sorry, do it again. Now it's unmuted.
Do you have a chart for the core CPI and CPI for the projections for the latest month before their data comes out?
Did you hear that, Mushi?
what is it? Sorry.
Do you have any chart for the projected CPI and the core CPI for this month?
No, I do not have that chart.
I'm sure Julio can come up with it.
yeah, I think that used to be part of Julio's presentation.
Yeah.
Julio, if you have your time, you can see if you can take a look at it. Meanwhile, what I have one more chart that I want to talk about here. Earlier, what I mentioned about the housing and the rate. You see that the way the relationship, see the divergence on 30 years mortgage versus you are looking at current housing market. This is going down, right? It just totally as the mortgage is going higher, and they're seeing that that housing market is the whole index is going down.
Yeah.
So
Makes
that's why those who is thinking to be in the real estate as an investor, or even looking to buy something, sit with your cash. Wait, let's see
Yeah.
what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
And I think this is something Vinny is
Holy-
Vinny is gonna coming. I do not
Yeah,
want-
he showed up. He's in the room,
okay.
but
I
I'm
do
not
want-
sure if he can present anything because he's in the field somewhere, right, Vinny?
Okay.
Yeah, I can't present, but hey, thanks, Mushi. You're
Awesome.
you're covering
All
it
right.
for me. Great.
I'll cover that earnings then for you just very lightly. Those who is new are thinking. I heard in the room earlier, some of you said, I'm still new. I'm trying to figure out. Please do not get in any of this earnings time. Earnings, whenever you get in earnings, is all like is binary. Either 80%, 90% time people lose money on the earnings side. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Last week is one of the perfect example that we have seen. Great earnings came in. Company like Microsoft, company like Google got punished big time, where Amazon got punished big time, and Apple is okay. A lot of people is like American Icon. Boom. Apple initially went down, but it had a very good rebound, and it's one of the best day for Apple trade on Friday. What happened, right? So this coming week, we know that on Monday, some of this company coming in, CNA Insurance, Alliance, and other partner, and I am not playing with any of them. I'm not even familiar much of this, but Marriott is one of the things that I wanted you guys to take a look at it. Marriott, we know that industry itself is slowly bouncing back. So I will be keeping an eye on Marriott, try to see. I don't have a position into it. If there is an opportunity present itself, I might get in, else just sit there. But Tuesday is, is early morning. The Uber is one of the things we have seen the last few quarters. Uber is losing money and they're also getting punished. So we'll see what happened this quarter on the Uber. Pfizer, we know Pfizer has been doing very well. Eli Lilly was doing very well, and Marathon Oil. Some of them might be coming up in the good numbers. If they come up with good numbers, end of the day, Wednesday Fed is coming in. So when before Fed coming in, it might a little bit, this day, if these things are good, market might be try to pump up a little bit more. And then Wednesday is going to be a whole rocky start, And AMD is one of the things, also you're seeing that last few quarters, they did very well, but look, they are also suffering just like any others on the AMD side. And we have-
Oil,
Mushi, do you think, sorry,
go ahead, Vinny.
Yasmin, go ahead.
No, it's okay.
Okay, so Intel did good, right? I have a
Intel did.
position in AMD. And I'm playing the earnings. I don't normally play earnings, but this is one thing that even though the chip sector is down and dead, I think AMD is a lean, well-operated machine, company. I like the leadership. I am playing the earnings.
Okay. Like you said, yeah, last week Intel came up a good number. Number was okay, it's not the best number, but Intel didn't do really well in the market side, upside, right? So this is like those who's playing, especially with the premium, is premium killer. If they just meet that expectation, nothing really forward is not, our guidance is not really excellent, or during their conference, this is something that the investor didn't like, boom, stock gets
And-
punished.
And Vinny, with Intel, caution, because the government is playing these games with China
Mhm.
on the chip, it might be affected.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, with
It
China
will be affected, not
restrictions.
might, it will.
It will. Yeah, that's future. But that definitely has a advantage play to Intel.
Right.
But I think they are playing games, and it can go up in the future, right? So if you want to buy the stock, that's another matter. No, what I wanted to mention earlier was, notice that was it Chevron or Exxon that reported on Friday, and it ripped.
Chevron. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So look at BP, Marathon, Devon. Isn't Devon also gas? Yeah, oil, right? Oil and gas.
Devon
Oh,
is the
yeah.
energy.
Devon has
So
a good one.
Tuesday is likely, to Mushi's point, before the Fed, Tuesday is likely to be quite a rip day.
Rip day,
Might
correct.
hit Julio's next wall up.
Yes.
Right. But
And
one
Jay
of the
will have to
things,
close his positions.
right, Julio, if you have your chart, take a look at, I have also a chart that I was looking at SPY. If anybody's looking at SPY, the SPY, one of the big resistance is 400. If it goes 400, it's going to go, you can see that if then next one is like 411, 420 is big,
Yeah.
huge resistance, right?
Yeah.
So it might try to fake out of the market, but if you look at, I have a chart later on, if you guys want to take a look at it, monthly chart, then you're going to see that it's not, this coming week, we're going to figure out what's really going to happen. Is it going downside, or it's the fake out, okay? Last 2 weeks. But MicroStrategy, those who's in crypto world, you know that this guy has a lot of money in the crypto side. And
Really?
yeah,
Are they an investment company?
yeah, they are in
No,
technology,
that's Michael Saylor's company.
Yes,
Michael,
yes,
Michael
Michael-
Saylor. Yeah. So Bitcoin and Michael Saylor are synonymous, right? So he's one of the big OGs.
Oh.
and he got
Yeah,
a margin
Maxi.
call. He financed his margin call. He did not sell his crypto. He's still sitting on those crypto. So we are going to see crypto is not going over the hump over 20,000, 21,000 and sitting back. Now it's sitting there within that 20, the range, right? So
Yeah.
we're going to find out what he's doing, and entire whole industry itself is just going through the winter, crypto winter. We'll see, and that's something also you might want to see if anybody's in crypto side. And the Toyota, I guess on the left side, the Toyota also do not know what number they're going to come in. But my hunch is going to be similar to what we have seen with Tesla. Came up with a good number, and the forward guidance is not going to be as good as what market expecting.
And
So it
did you talk about Airbnb?
I was not actually. I was
Yeah, because they have not been doing well lately.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
I wonder if they're gonna take a beating,
yeah.
or maybe it's already been adjusted for it by the time where it is right now.
Right, and also like forward, what's gonna happen, we'll see. But as a good thing is, we should still now, the whole entire tourism and travel industry is going higher. And
Yes,
hopefully that might also be giving them some boost up. Hey, we
I have a lot of investment in travel
Yeah.
industry.
yep. So it's so that's
Airbnb
Airbnb.
will have
Yeah.
the most impact on how.
On Wednesday,
That's true.
CBS, I think CBS and GSK is another one what I've seen on the earlier chart on GSK. A lot of up downside. I'll see people are selling off GSK. We'll find out this on Wednesday what happened. And insurance Progressive. I think this whole industry, insurance industry, is going along with the finance. They might be doing work okay, because no matter what, we all need insurance. We cannot get away without it, right? So that might be good. But Roku is one of the big surprise also going to come in on Wednesday after hours. We'll see, what Roku does. And last time also it got beaten up big time. Qualcomm, last few weeks, if anybody's playing Qualcomm, you see that's is showing as a sign of bullish side. You do not need, just like before earnings, what we'll do is this going to do the same thing, just like Intel and AMD. We'll see. But none of this stuff I'm playing. But Robinhood is one of the things. Those I heard someone made a lot of money with Robinhood. I lost a lot of money. I invested in Robinhood pre-IPO. So now you understand tons of money I have in there, because I'm big loss with Robinhood. I do not know when I'm going to ever get my money back, or just cut my loss and move on, or just let it sit there. Etsy and all the others sitting there. The Fortnite, I think this is also gaming industry. I'm not playing any of this stuff, but Etsy is just like Amazon World. We'll see. We have seen the Shopify did very well the last week. Shopify on earnings side. So Etsy might do the similar thing, just because people are still on the consumer side buying and using the platform. Wednesday, PayPal is and Coinbase. These two is a big one. Just look into it. Actually, before Wednesday, Moderna. Did you guys notice last week Moderna is just trying to do, it's going over, try to go over 150, and there is a bunch of buying happening on the institution side on Moderna.
So they're trying to sell the new killer shot.
Yeah. Yep. They try to but last quarter also they missed out. Moderna got hammered. So we'll see what Moderna is going to come in. I do think, and the entire industry itself did earnings well, went not bad. So Moderna has a couple more products in the pipeline. If they are saying any forward guidance on those products besides the COVID, they are also getting into other industries that might make Moderna go up. Else Moderna is going to get punished. Datadog, I think I'm not into this. I know a lot of people, they believe in the company is and keep putting in there. This is like another tag. Peloton this is like totally, to me, it's like another Robinhood gamble. It's just we do not know what's going to happen with the Peloton. That whole management leadership is getting getting hammered, right? So this another one we'll see on Thursday what they're coming up with. But I used to be a big fan of Peloton. Now I took my loss and moved on Peloton when things were going really bad. Starbucks, we know the last week Starbucks, and I had last 2 weeks ago, it was trying to make a good momentum going upside. But then it just took, when they came up with the news about China, they then kind of doubled down with China, their investment. And when they know that China is locked down and all this, the investor kind of punished them. So we'll see before earnings what happens and there on Thursday. I'm not too much hopeful like what happened to McDonald's with Starbucks. Because I do not know if you guys can look at what happened even today. If you go and how much people go to Starbucks versus Panera and others. And I do see that a lot of people go to Panera. Even myself, I used to be a fan of Starbucks. Now I go more in Panera than Starbucks. And they're all like having crisis with all the union and the labor force. So Starbucks is another one. Might just be careful on that one. Cloudflare, I think people who is in technology, that this is another one. And up or down, not sure. In the past I played it. I don't know really on this company for a while. On Friday, DraftKings, I think it's another one. A lot of people getting into Friday DraftKings, and we'll see, what's with the nowadays in the because of this all that whole new things they announced on online gambling, online other games they are introduced. What will happen? We'll find out. But none of this stuff on Friday that I am into it. I do not know much. Anybody knows? Fubo is one of them. I invested in the past, got burned, just got out of it. I took my loss and moved on. Anyone has anything else to add? Any of this, this coming week? But Thursday also PayPal and look at Square, like Block. That's another one. We'll see what they really do. What's happened.
What about Coinbase?
Coinbase, yeah,
That's important too.
Yeah, that's also important on Thursday. So it's on Thursday, yeah, exactly. That this coming week about 100 large business that's going to tell us is S&P is going. Actually, this is also a good time to show you guys earlier what I had a chart that I wanted to share with you guys. Julio, do you want to share your chart or you want me just share? I do not want to.
Oh, no, you can go ahead and share, Mushu.
Julio, if you found it already, we might as well throw it.
No, I don't have it. Let Mushu share.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you're looking at, just look at this chart on S&P weekly chart you're looking at. If I'm looking at, I just wanted to show folks, who is looking. Look at monthly. Since what happened since last year, December, January, S&P only this month of August kind of try to show us some sign of light, and then since then it's going down. If you look at this long term, this is to me, still is a bear market. Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah, but it might be going to hit a 50% retracement. So you need to draw the Fibonacci on it.
Yes, those all Fibonacci and all this. By all means, please go ahead, do have your way. All this stuff I looked at in the past. Everyone have their own way to look at what works for you, what's not. But for me, I'm just using my naked eye. Look at our weekly. Last 2 weeks, really, what happened? Yeah, it came down, boom, right? Weekly is I looked into big picture. Nope, it's bear market. Weekly. Look at it. Remember, I told you around 400. You see that on the weekly, big number is coming week. If you see this 400 mark on SPY and stuff, and those is looking at SPX around 3,900 and above, it goes. Then you might see is this coming week also. Okay, now we got a 3 bar telling us maybe we are up, right? We'll see. But this week is this is why we said 400 number is very strong to take a look at it. It might be faking out. But if I look at daily, yeah, daily shows, yeah, it's good. It's just staying there, right? So for a lot of
It's
big
the bigger
candles-
time frames that matter. I agree.
Right. And if I look at 4 hours, yeah, still it's staying hanging out. It's just like if I look at for a long time, it's just staying within this range.
Yeah.
Goes up. You see that?
Yeah.
So that's
Monthly.
why
Look at the monthly.
yeah, look at that's why I say go back, look at big pictures. If you are day
That's not looking
trading,
good.
awesome, that's all. But those who are short term, I'm just like many of you nowadays, no matter what I look into, it doesn't go in my favor. I play index upside, downside. If it goes down, I make money with my put. And as I double down my upside then ahead. And then when it comes up, I'm looking nowadays, even to 10% growth I'm getting, I'm out. I do not want to wait till tomorrow what's going to happen. So just
These
like
are regular
many,
candlesticks.
just like many of you, I'm sitting a lot of cash that I didn't sit in before. Right now,
Yeah, I agree. I'm in the same boat.
Yeah. So this
85% of my stuff is cash.
right. So this coming week, what's gonna happen? There is a two stock I wanna share with you guys that I am looking into. Those who is looking individual pick, and then you decide on.
All right.
Guys, look at this Macy's monthly. You know, we see that this last month, it showed a sign that it might be turn around. What we notice, I have a tool that I use that is paid tool. It's called Flow Trade, where you can see that what institution is doing. So this week, last week, what we saw as last few weeks is going higher. Institution is dumping their Macy's. They're thinking that on this coming week, this earnings are coming week, and this week they're going to be surprised. So they are just taking their profit at this time.
Wow. So
yeah, if you look at last 4 weeks, you see that 4 weeks in a row, it showed a good sign. So why not take some stuff off the table?
Profit off. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. They're doing. They're shaving up their profit as retailers thinking that it might be going higher, go to the moon. Okay. So
yeah,
this coming week is, to me, it looks like it's bearish. This week, might happen. Now, another one, we're looking Marvell. If you look at Marvell.
Sheehan, I just wanted to add, this is something that we talked last week because I saw it on CNBC, which I think makes a lot of sense. That if you look at the last, I think there's 20 years, there's only been like 1 year, which is like 2008, that the market had actually come down in the fourth quarter. So there's like positive sentiment always in this quarter. Market almost always goes up by an average of 7.1, I think they said, percent. In this last quarter of the year, market has gone up by an average of 7%. That means in some years, it was below, they said, but below 7%, like 3%. In some years it was 10. Sometimes it goes up by 15% and comes down, a little bit or something. But it's also, I think, in some ways, the market sentiment this quarter could be driving it, and it could pretty much crash like come January 1st or something.
Right. And
just another thing that's affecting the S&P 500.
Yeah, that's exactly. You're right. And besides this, there are other catalysts.
Marvell. Can you go back to Marvell?
Yeah, I'm going back. There are other catalysts you need to look into. That election is coming up, on November 8th. Then what's happening with that balancing the power. So that's also something else that might drive, what's gonna happen. Now, on what's happening with the Marvell. Look at Marvell last few months. It just keep going down. But what we noticed last week, as it started doing it, you see that happen? It came down. Last week, these Marvell earnings are coming up, I think, sometimes in November. We see that institution is keep adding. As it can, they keep adding is this stock. So this coming week, just those who is looking to get into stuff, keep an eye on this guy. It might turn around, Okay. But this coming week, it looks like it's bullish for before earnings. It might try to, if market does, there is nothing really happen, it might try to go a little bit more down and then turn around. Okay. So these two stocks that I wanted to give you guys a little bit glitch. This coming week, and hopefully this is it.
That's it for this episode, folks. Thank you for listening. And if it was helpful to you, please click the like button and follow us so that you can listen to more of our podcast. You can also visit us at urbanhood.org to learn more about our other programs. We hope you'll check in with us again. And until then, keep learning and do whatever it takes to reach financial freedom and follow your dreams.